Assalamualaikum. Saya NURUL AMALINA binti KHALID. Nombor matrik saya S65332. Kami dari kumpulan 8 akan membentangkan laporan mengenai pengoptimunan portfolio menggunakan kuadratik programming yang merupakan satu kaedah penting dalam strategi pelaburan moden. Dalam dunia kewangan hari ini, keputusan pelaburan tidak hanya berdasarkan kepada potensi pulangan, tetapi juga mengambil kira risiko yang berkait dengan pulangan tersebut. Para pelabur perlu memilih kombinasi aset yang sesuai untuk mencapai keseimbangan antara risiko dan pulangan. Konsep pengoptimuman portfolio memainkan peranan penting. Teori ini diperkenalkan oleh Harry Markowitz pada tahun 1950-an melalui Modern Portfolio Theory. Teori ini memperkenalkan konsep efficient frontier, iaitu satu set portfolio yang memberikan pulangan tertinggi bagi setiap tahap risiko tertentu. Bagi melaksanakan teori ini secara matematik, kami menggunakan kaedah kuadratik programming. Kuadratik programming ialah satu teknik pengoptimuman di mana objektif fungsinya berbentuk kuadratik yang mewakili risiko portfolio dan constraint-nya pula bersifat linear, seperti jumlah pelaburan atau sasaran pulangan yang ditetapkan. Kaedah ini sangat sesuai digunakan dalam bidang kewangan kerana ia membolehkan kita meminimumkan risiko keseluruhan portfolio sambil memastikan kehendak pelaburan tertentu tercapai. Contohnya, seorang pelabur ingin mengagihkan kekayaannya ke dalam beberapa aset. Matlamat utama pelabur ialah untuk memaksimumkan pulangan pada masa yang sama meminimumkan risiko. Ini adalah satu senario yang sangat biasa dalam dunia pelaburan sebenar. Dalam model QP, risiko dilambangkan sebagai fungsi kuadratik iaitu varians pulangan aset, manakala pulangan pula dimodelkan secara linear. Pendekatan ini membolehkan kita menggabungkan dua objektif utama pelabur, iaitu untuk meraih keuntungan sambil mengawal kerugian, terutamanya dalam keadaan pasaran yang tidak menentu. Projek ini memberi tumpuan kepada bagaimana kita boleh menggunakan QP untuk menentukan cara paling efisien mengagihkan pelaburan dalam pelbagai aset, iaitu berapa banyak yang perlu dilaburkan dalam setiap aset bagi mencapai pulangan yang diingini dan mengurangkan risiko. Kaedah ini digunakan secara meluas oleh institusi kewangan, pengurus dana dan juga pelabur individu bagi membuat keputusan pelaburan yang bijak. Dalam pasaran yang semakin kompleks dan berasaskan data, penguasaan kaedah seperti quadratic programming amat penting bagi para profesional kewangan yang ingin membina strategi pelaburan yang kukuh dan berkesan. Sebagai kesimpulan, pengoptimuman portfolio menggunakan kaedah quadratic programming menyediakan satu pendekatan yang sistematik dan berasaskan matematik dalam merancang pelaburan. Ia membantu kita membuat keputusan pelaburan yang seimbang antara pulangan dan risiko yang dengan lebih bijak. Saya NURUL AMALIN binti KHALID, S65331. Untuk problem statement, masalah utama dalam pengurusan pelaburan adalah bagaimana untuk mengagihkan modal secara optimum ke atas beberapa aset supaya risiko dapat diminimumkan sambil mengekalkan pulangan yang memenuhi sasaran pelabur. Isu ini dikenali sebagai dilema klasik dalam pengurusan portfolio, iaitu menyeimbangkan antara risiko dan pulangan. Secara matematik, masalah ini diformulakan sebagai masalah pengatur caraan kuadratik, iaitu quadratic programming. Fungsi objektif yang ingin diminimumkan adalah varian pulangan portfolio, iaitu minimize X transpose QX, di mana X ialah vektor peratusan pelaburan dalam setiap aset dan Q ialah matriks covariance pulangan aset. Terdapat beberapa kekaangan penting dalam model ini. Yang pertama adalah jumlah pulangan portfolio mestilah sama dengan sasaran yang ditetapkan, jumlah pelaburan mestilah 100% dan setiap pelaburan mestilah bernilai positif ataupun sifar, bermaksud tiada short selling. Kenapa masalah ini penting? Ia kerana pengurusan risiko kini menjadi sama penting dengan keuntungan. Pelabur moden semakin peka terhadap ketidaktentuan pasaran dan memerlukan alat pengoptimuman yang bukan sahaja memberi pulangan yang baik tetapi juga melindungi nilai pelaburan. Tambahan pula, teknologi masa kini membolehkan masalah ini diselesaikan dengan cepat menggunakan software seperti Python dan MATLAB. Projek ini bertujuan menunjukkan bagaimana seorang pelabur boleh menggunakan kaedah QP untuk membina portfolio yang cekap dan minimum risiko. Kami akan menggunakan data kewangan sebenar atau simulasi, merangka model sistematik, menyelesaikannya dengan menggunakan bantuan software dan akhirnya mentafsir keputusan secara praktikal. Dengan pendekatan ini, pelabur dapat membuat keputusan yang lebih bijak berdasarkan analisis yang berasaskan data dan matematik yang kukuh.
For the next topic is about previous studies about literature review. So in this project, portfolio optimization has been an important topic in finance since Harry Markowitz introduced the mean variance framework in 1952. This framework is the basis of modern portfolio theory, MPT. It describes how investors can balance risk and return when building a portfolio. In this approach, there are two things. First one is a risk is measured by the variance and covariance of asset returns. And the next one is expected return is calculated as a weight sum of the returns of each asset. Because of this, portfolio optimization can be formulated as a quadratic programming QP problems where the goal is to minimize risk variance while meeting certain constraints, such as achieving a target returns or fully investing the available funds. So, in this literature review, we conclude three types of three literature reviews. So, for the first one is a Markowitz model and its influence. In this, Markowitz model was the first to apply quadratic programming in finance. It is based on the idea that investors prefer higher returns and lower risk. Portfolios should be selected by looking at both expected return and variance. Lastly, the base for portfolios lies on the efficient frontier, which shows the highest return for each level of risk. For the next literature review is quadratic programming methods in portfolio optimization. For example, Kono and Yamazaki, which made is 1991, suggested the mean absolute deviation or MAD model. So we see for the next is Boyd and Vandenberg 2004. So these provide detailed methods for solving QP problems. Their work has been very influential and led to the development of modern optimization tools like CVXPY in Python. So for the last is practical applications and challenges. Quadratic programming models are widely used in real-world portfolio management by investment firms, pension funds, and individual investors. So, however, there are also practical challenges. So, this means three estimation errors. Next is a changing market condition, and lastly, a computational complexity.
Good day, sir. So I will explain about the methodology of our project. So first, for our project, we focus on applying quadratic programming, or in Singapore we call it QP, to a real world financial problem portfolio optimization. So second, first step is to make sure that we understand the nature of the problem. So we have to understand and also justify the fundamental concept in modern finance. So especially in portfolio optimization, we have to allocate our main aim is to allocate investments across multiple assets. So we minimize the investment risk. So for that, we have to make sure that we do two things, which is written in a linear function of the investment quotient, and risk, which is the variance of the return in a quadratic functions. So these are the things that we should understand in our project. So so that hence we concluded that quadratic programming is a best tool to solve this problem. So after that, we define the decision variables, which is x1 and x2 and x3, which is the proportion of capital invested in stock A is x1, proportion in stock B is x2, and proportion in stock C is x3. So after that, the step 3 is to collect the financial data. So for financial data, you can see that we have created an expected returns vector over here, which is R 0.12 and 0.10, 0.7, and after that we also have calculated the covariance metric of assets return, which is Q. So it's 3 times 3 matrix. So this metric can shows that the variability and the variability and the correlation between the assets return, forming the basics for the calculation portfolio. So as for the next step, we formulated the mathematical model. We are using these constraints. So as you can see, x1, x2, x3, x4 is total one. So the total investment is 100%, and also we the next constraint is about the expected return, which is greater than the equals to, which is 10%. So we make sure that 10%. So we make sure that we put the 100% to 0.01%. The 10% to 0.01%, sorry about that. And then the third constraint is no short selling. We are not allowed to sell an asset they don't own. So we have to make sure that x1, x2, x3 is greater than 0. Lastly, the objective function, which is to minimize the 1 over 2x power of t qx. For the next one is the implementation of the model using Python. We use the Python software to get our result. So we use the CVXPY optimization library, especially in Python, and also we did the decision when we declared the decision variable x, and also the objective function we use CP quad form. Another member will explain the coding better. So yes, we used lastly we used the SCS solver with the high precision. With all together we got the result, and the step 6 is we computed. After we computed the and then interpret the results. After solving the model, we got the optimization proportions for each stocks. So we printed it out, and you can see in our result. And also the expected portfolio return was calculated, and portfolio's overall risk was evaluated. Next is the lastly validate and analyze output. So lastly, we validate our output to ensure that it met all the constraints, all the 3 constraints that we did up there. So we have to check the total allocations was exactly 1, which is equals to 100%, and the expected return have to meet greater and equals to 10%, and also all the asset weights were non-negative, and because no short selling. And also we have to make sure that the minimized variance confirm that the portfolio achieved to the lowest possible risk for the desired return. Yes, that's it for my part. Thank you very much.
So as you can see from the result of the coding, it shows the optimal portfolio allocation, where the investor can spend about 0.441, which is 44.1% in stock A, and 0.366, which is 36.6% in stock B, and 0.193, which is 19.3% in stock C. And the total allocation is 1%, and the expected portfolio return that we achieve is 0.103024, which is 10.3024%, and the portfolio risk which is the variance that we achieve is 0.02641. This is the result. And as a conclusion, we can see here the optimal portfolio allocation recommends that investing 44.1% in stock A, 36.6% in stock B, and 19.3% in stock C. And this allocation achieve our expected portfolio return, which is approximately 10.30%, and it achieves the constraint that we set, where we need to obtain the expected portfolio return which is equal to 10 or more than 10%, and the portfolio variance that we achieve is 0.02641, which is relatively low variance. This shows when there is a low variance, there is a low risk, and all of the solutions satisfy all the constraints, including the total investment, which is 100%, and also there is no short selling. So this result demonstrates that the quadratic programming is an effective method for balancing risk and also return in portfolio optimization, and it also provides a systematic approach for the investors to achieve investment goals and while managing the risk exposure.